October 18th, out of Natchitoches, and it's not exactly the transcripts, but it does seem to explain things in a little bit more detail than usual. So I got, let's see, motion was held on October 18th at 9. Present were Brian Barber, Judge, and Cloyd Benjamin on behalf of the state or city. There was no appearance by the defendant, Travis Heinze. Hearing on motion for continuance of trial date 8/19/2024. The state objects to the continuance and submits for the court's ruling. The court noted that today is 10/18 and it may or may not be considered moot, but based on lack of anything put forth into the record and lack of any evidence or arguments, the court denied the defendant's motion for continuance. Motion overruled and dismissed. Hearing on motion to recuse the prosecutor. The state had no evidence to put on and submits for ruling of the court. The court finds that there was nothing offered or introduced in any way to support the motion. Therefore, the motion to recuse the prosecutor was overruled and dismissed. Hearing on defendant's omnibus motion in limine. The state has no evidence to produce and submits for the court's ruling. The court finds that nothing has been provided regarding any substance by defense regarding any findings on the motion for limine. Therefore, the lack of anything offered or introduced into the record, the court will deny the motion and dismiss it. Hearing on defendant's motion to quash. On constitutional grounds. The state had no evidence to submit and submits motion for the court's ruling. The court finds there was no evidence filed or put into the record to substantiate the motion. Therefore, the motion is denied and dismissed. Hearing on defendant's exhibit for pleadings, the state objects to motion. The court notes that the motion is not styled as a motion in agreement with the state. The court finds that there was nothing offered or introduced into the record or argument to substantiate any of the allegations in the motion, as well as any of the other motions. Therefore, the motion was denied and dismissed. The court notes that the city did file their first supplemental answer to defendant's motion for discovery. Hearing on motion for discovery by the city. The state made motion that the discovery request made by the state's remain in place. The state requested that court grant the motion for discovery requiring that the defendant tender all matters that are discoverable that are requested specifically by the state. The court grants the motion for discovery. No opposition or objection by the defense. The state offered and introduced into the record the notarized affidavit as City Exhibit 1. The court accepts no objection or opposition by the defense. Page 2. The states made motion that a bench warrant be issued for the defendant. The court grants bench warrant and will maintain the 11/12/24 court date. Hearing on motion by the accused requesting permission to leave the state. Based on the bench warrant and the failure to appear, the court revokes and withdraws that order. The court also noted the issue of service of process since his attorney has been relieved and the defendant lives in a movable. Hearing on defendant's motion to vacate previously scheduled 4/25/23 hearing. Although the state takes the position to be moot, it has not been ruled upon. The state objects and submits for the court's ruling. The court denies motion for the same reason as the other motions. Hearing on defendant's motion to vacate hearing scheduled for 2/13/2023. The state made motion that the motion is moot, objects and submits to the court for ruling. The court denies motion. Trial date November 12th. And then it's approved by Judge Robert Owsley, but they're saying that present were Brian Barber, the judge. So we got two city judges on my case now, apparently. And I am unclear of this vacate hearing scheduled for back in 2023, two of them. I think those are hearings about payment dates or something. Vacating the hearings where I owed $420 to the court for being found guilty, but then that being overturned by the appeals court. They didn't even discuss a free lawyer. They didn't discuss. I believe I asked for a free lawyer, but they just kind of ignored that.